Mags, and as you can see to my right, it is now officially confirmed that Bazoumana Toure, or Baza as he will be known, of course, from myself, of course, has joined Newcastle United on the move from Hoffenheim. And I've got to say, I am really impressed that we have been able to get this lad through the door. He is going to be an absolutely amazing player. I can't wait to see him play in a black and white shirt. And, you know, he's coming in, like I say, from Hoffenheim. He's signed a long-term deal with the club, which is absolutely amazing. And this is now the second signing in this window, away from, of course, Juan from France, who were brought in, the young goalkeeper. And now we're bringing in, of course, Baza from Hoffenheim to, of course, Newcastle United. And it's not over yet. There's still plenty more to go. And as, of course, Magpie Media says right here, many teams wanted him, but he only wanted Newcastle United. Now Baza Toure is a Geordie, and he has gotten his wish. He will play for Newcastle United this coming Premier League season. Looking at what, of course, our sporting director Ross Wilson had to say on Baza joining the team. We're delighted to welcome Baza to Newcastle United at just 20 years old. He's already a hugely exciting young talent who has progressed year on year. We are sure there's plenty more growth still to come. Development we're excited to nurture here at Newcastle. We've been looking to get this transfer arranged in recent weeks, whilst Baza has been at the World Cup, of course, with Ivory Coast. Of course, they're no longer at the World Cup now. But finally, I'd like to thank Hoffenheim for their professionalism in all of our discussions and for the care they've shown him. I know they share our excitement in Baza's quality and potential. So some brilliant words there by our sporting director, Ross Wilson, on Baza joining the tune. And looking at what Gaffer Eddie has had to say on this as well, Eddie Howe on Baza. We're really pleased to have been able to bring Baza to Newcastle United. He has shown his ability to perform in a top European league during his time in Germany and has gained really good experience with his national team, especially at this summer's World Cup. We feel that he's a player with a really high ceiling. He's somebody who we can believe can offer us something different. He's also a lot of potential to unlock, and we're really looking forward to working with him. So some great words there by Gaffer Eddie as well. And then, of course, the man himself, Baza Toure, on his move to Newcastle United. And, of course, he says that he's very happy to be here. It's been a dream since he was young to play in the Premier League for a big team like Newcastle. Newcastle is like a family, which will help show his best on the pitch and will give him best every single day for this shirt. That is what he's going to be doing. He's going to want to give his absolute best, and that's what he's saying right there. And he's very excited to join Newcastle. He can't wait to meet his teammates, the supporters, and everybody at the club. And he's also very excited to play at St James's Park for the very first time. He did get to see St James's Park, of course, and he has some pictures of him in the black and white shirt, of course, from the unveiling of him for, of course, the announcement. And then here is, of course, his stats from, of course, the last season for Hoffenheim in the Bundesliga. 5 goals, 12 assists and 30 Bundesliga appearance for Hoffenheim. He's 98th percentile for accurate crosses, 92nd percentile, of course, as you can see, for assists, 91st for key passes, 85th for, of course, successful dribbles, 79th for progressive carries, and no winger had more accurate crosses, 55 in Europe's top 5 leagues than Bazoumana Toure, of course, last season. Exciting signing with bags of potential, both technically and physically, and that is what we've been after. We've been after a player that is not only a technical player, but is also a physical player as well. And that is what, Bazoumana Toure is going to be ticking the boxes on. And like I say, this is only, the second signing under Ross Wilson's tutelage, under Ross Wilson's, guide as the sporting director, and Suds as well, working alongside Ross Wilson. And there's plenty more to come. And one of them players that will be coming, of course, is again this guy. He could possibly be coming in Newcastle United, and it is James Trafford. Newcastle are very likely to make a push for Trafford after his involvement in the World Cup. City won around £50 million for James Trafford. However, there's a feeling that a compromise can be achieved, according to reports from Joel Bland. Of course, he's saying that a compromise looks like it could be achieved for James Trafford. And this is a player, again, that we've been tracking for a very long time. Looked like we were going to get him last summer, and then he ended up going to Man City. Obviously, things changed for him at City. Thought he was going to go there and be the number one. But then Donnarumma came in, and that obviously switched. That completely changed. He ended up being a backup to Donnarumma. Now he wants out of Man City, of course, and Man City look like they want to try and, get around 50 million for him. But hopefully, as Joel Bland's saying, there could maybe be a compromise achieved there, and we could maybe get James Trafford for less than that, and bring him into Newcastle United. Who knows, he could possibly be our number one for this coming season, especially with the reports that's going around on this guy. As you can see me right here, Nick Pope, Ipswich are holding discussions with Newcastle over a 5 to 8 million deal for Nicky Pope. Talks are at an early stage, but Pope's open to moving Newcastle open to the sale for, of course, the right deal, and if we have a replacement in line, which, of course, takes us to, of course, that news what I just said there about James Trafford, because I think if we do get James Trafford in, then that would see, Nicky Pope moving away to Ipswich or another team, whoever would be maybe interested in bringing him in as their goalkeeping option. And then, of course, there's the Yohan Menzambi news as well, which is going around at the moment, and saying that as 60 million, I think it is now, that the asking price is. But I still think that one is very possible. I still think we could possibly get Yohan Menzambi to Newcastle United, but it's just about waiting and seeing what happens going forward. And that now takes us on to, of course, the England game last night. It was a long wait. It was something that, we all had to wait up for because of the whole storms around the stadium at the Azteca, of course, in Mexico. And a lot of we ended up having to wait right away till 2 a.m. to be able to see back here in the UK, of course. But, I mean, it was worth the wait in the end, really, wasn't it? Looking at the way that game played out, that was an absolute classic. It was a game that, we'll never forget, and it puts we that little bit closer to getting to the final of the World Cup in the States. Now, obviously, we opened the goal scoring through Jude Bellingham. Really, really good goal by Bellingham. The ball comes in. Bellingham gets his head on it, puts 1-0 up into the game in only a matter of literal minutes between. And Jude Bellingham's making it 2-0 to England. And, we look like we're plain sailing from there. And then Mexico somehow find their way into getting a goal back on the 42nd minute of the game. It was a bit of a bundled up situation in the box, to be honest, and Mexico got one back. And then, of course, we're seeing that whole incident with João Kwanzaa getting the red card, which, to be fair, it was a red card. It was a stupid tackle by Kwanzaa. He shouldn't have done it. But I do have to ask the question now. We have seen Balogun for the USA get his suspended after, of course, Donald Trump having words with FIFA's president Infantino, of course. So does that now mean that maybe, Gerald Kwanzas can also be suspended? Because if you've got one rule for them, then you're going to have the same rule for everybody else. But really, really stupid tackle by Gerald Kwanzaa. Really, really was. But then, we're seeing Harry Kane scoring off a penalty after a brilliant sprint by Anthony Gordon. He just got into the box. He knew what he was doing. He just knew that if he got his pace in there, the keeper had no option but to take him down in the box and we would get the penalty. And it was clever play by Anthony Gordon to do that. He just used his smarts and he got, the decision that he needed to get in that moment. And it got with, 3-1 up in the game. And then there was that, Raul Jimenez penalty, which, was it a penalty? Was it not? I'm not too sure on that one myself, to be honest. Let us know what you always think down in the comments below, of course. But, I mean, we'll go on. We've got Norway next, coming up on the 11th. If we get past Norway, then we're that little bit closer again to, of course, the final. And let's see, where we go from here. Let's see if we can, go all the way. And who knows, maybe it could be coming home. Hit that like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one. How are the lads, and how are